Good morning, everyone. Can you believe it's already Advent? It's like it's the middle of the first week of Advent already. I mean, that kind of snuck up on me. But you know what? It seems like Advent sort of sneaks up on me every year. And I think that's kind of the point of Advent, right? Because the church knows that sometimes these dates on the calendar can sneak up on us. And so the church gives us this season of Advent. As Father Roga was saying at the beginning of Mass, it's a season of preparation. It's a season in which we can prepare to celebrate the birth of Christ on December 25th. But it's also a season that we can prepare for his return on a date that we do not know. We don't know when Jesus will come back, but we know that he will. And these things are so important to do. It's so important to prepare for these things. It's so important to prepare to celebrate the incarnation, when God became man. So important to celebrate the fact that God loves us so much that he chose to become one of us. Now, can you imagine loving someone so much that you want to become them? I mean, how many of you love your mom and dad? Or your brothers and sisters? A couple of hands go down, okay. Yeah, I mean, I love my mom and dad, and I love my brothers and sisters, but I don't want to be them. I'm happy with them being them and me being me. But God loves us so much that he wants to be one of us, for the sole purpose of saving us from ourselves. That is an amazing love. It's a love that's beyond my understanding, honestly. But it's also important that we prepare at this time for the day when Christ will return. A day that we don't know when it will be. And that can be hard to do. How do you prepare for something that you don't even know when it's going to happen? Well, in that gospel passage that we just heard, Jesus gives us a pretty good idea of how to do that. Gives us this example of selfless service. Selfless service. In the gospel, Jesus says, this crowd has been with me for 3 days. For 3 days. They've been walking around with him, following him, listening to him, sitting at his feet, learning from him. And after 3 days of wandering around with this crowd and teaching them, do you think that maybe Jesus was a little tired? Do you think maybe Jesus was pretty hungry? Do you think maybe Jesus was thinking, man, I can't get rid of these people? Well, maybe Jesus wasn't thinking that. That's what I might be thinking if I was in his position. But he did not go to his disciples and say, I am so hungry. Find me something to eat. He didn't go to his disciples and say, oh, my feet are killing me. I've been walking around for 3 days. Get me a nice place to rest and relax. No. He looked at the crowd and he was moved with pity for them because they were hungry, because they were tired, because they've been walking around for 3 days. He put their needs ahead of his own needs, and he fed them. That's called selfless service. And that's what we're all called to do. We're called to selfless service, to put the needs of others ahead of our own, to care for those in our community and beyond who need help. Sometimes we all need a little bit of help. And it's not only in Advent that we're probably doing this, it's throughout the year. And I think that you guys get it, the students at St. Francis. Because I know you've got service projects that you do to help the people in our community. I know that you're collecting food for the Christmas food drive right now. And toys for Toys for Tots, right? So that's putting the needs of others ahead of your own needs, as Jesus has called us to do. And so Jesus fed that great crowd of people with those 7 loaves. And he still feeds us today with the bread of life. And that's why we come together today to share that sacred meal. And as we do that, I invite you to kind of think about other ways that you might be able to help people who need help. So that's what Jesus asked us to do. And that's one of the best ways that we can prepare to meet him when he comes again.